Welcome, dear viewers, to our format today, Natural Medicine. Today, I'm talking to our chief physician Alexandra Kotthaus about the miracle molecule chlorophyll, where we find it, how we can use it, and what kind of miracles it has on our bodies. You'll find out in a moment. Stay tuned. Hello, dear Alexandra.
Hello, Karina.
Nice to have you back.
Thank you.
And the topic of chlorophyll, what is it? How do you come to the conclusion that it's a miracle agent or a miracle molecule?
In my opinion, chlorophyll leads to a little bit of a shadowy existence. It has so many functions in the body, and we can do so many good things with more chlorophyll. I think it's important to talk about that.
Nice.
Chlorophyll is a molecule, so chlorophyll, for those who don't know, is the leaf green. In the leaf green with the chlorophyll, the breathing takes place in the plant, or in the process where oxygen is produced. And what is a little less known now, is that we also have chlorophyll molecules in our body, so to speak. In our body, the reverse processes take place, but they have the same basis as a molecule component. Chlorophyll is a molecule that in our body, for example, is called hemoglobin, i.e. the red blood color. Chlorophyll contains magnesium, so it's green, and hemoglobin contains iron, so it has a red color. But it also reflects in other organs. A large part of the musculature of the muscle protein is myoglobin, the same molecule. Thyroid gland, thyroglobulin, liver. A large part of the phase 1 detoxification system of the liver is such a hemoglobin chlorophyll molecule. And last but not least, in the small mitochondria in us, I have the nucleus of the cell, where our energy production takes place. So where the oxygen combustion takes place, the reverse process, like in the plant, I have 5 complexes. And 3 of them are cytochromes, so I'll call them chlorophylls, hemoglobin molecules. Hemoglobin or chlorophyll molecules, so that it can take place, have a special property. Last time I read about a chlorophyll molecule, it has a lot of electron double bonds and is an electron donator. But that's only partly true, it's not an electron donator. Electron donators are things that donate electrons, but they pass on. So that the respiratory chain can function, electrons are passed through the respiratory chain, so they just pass on. They give oxygen, zack, zack, and at an incredible speed. And this allows this energy production, both in the plant, which makes the reverse process for us. Then it's a cycle, but the molecule, the basis behind it, I'm so dramatic and say the basis of life, is this molecule. So that breathing, cellular breathing can take place. It has something else special. This group of molecules is also called chromophores of color. Yes, they are colored molecules. That means I also have the absorption of certain wavelengths in these molecules. That's why with magnesium it's green, with iron it's red. But myoglobin also has to do with the fact that our muscles or meat has a red color. These are things that are important for life and for the information transmission. But I also have it in the myelin sheaths of the nerves. Myelin sheaths would be the isolation of the nerves. I have a nerve here, and then there are always these myelin veins that go like this. And then I learned at some point in my studies that there is a saltatory excitation. So it always goes zack over these gaps. The myelin sheaths and the molecule that makes it. We're back to the hemoglobin or chlorophyll molecule. Yes, it has properties like a liquid crystal. It's a kind of liquid crystal. It's also how our computer works. It also works with crystals. That things are stored. And I think we're not far enough with the research yet.
We probably only know the tip of all the miracles.
I assume so. And that's why I'm fascinated by this molecule. But it has other reasons. There are metabolic disorders that are just starting at the hemoglobin. Bilirubin is a byproduct of hemoglobin. It is then further decomposed. That's what makes the urine yellow. That's what makes the chair brown. I can have an isolated bilirubin increase. That means that the bilirubin goes up, but not other liver values. In conventional medicine, it is also called Mühlengracht's disease. And then the normal doctor says, yes, you can have that. And if you have stress, take medication, it can go even higher. Then you can get yellow, but it's not that bad.
I think that's terrible. Because every time I meet someone who has it, I can't find a solution.
I've been in the business for almost 30 years now. And in the last 5 years, I've been diagnosing it more and more often.
What could we advise him now?
He has to detox. It's just a liver metabolism overload system. It's just a hint of a heavy metal load. These chlorophylls also like to take heavy metals. They have a central atom, which is a metal, and are therefore more susceptible to heavy metal loads. This also brings us to the wide range of cryptopyrroluria, or HPU, some say. In the area of porphyrin, where I can already have disorders in the formation of hemoglobin, and in the degeneration of hemoglobin, which can provide a colorful picture of symptoms, and can cause certain nutritional deficiencies. The crux of the matter is that it is usually triggered by toxins. But that makes the excretion of toxins more difficult. And chromophores, i.e. remaining molecules, play a bit of a role in some therapies. Why? For example, we have light therapy in the Sonnenberg Clinic. There are different types. I am now talking about red light and infrared A therapy, as well as the fiber therapy, which is induced by infrared A radiation. And this infrared A radiation is absorbed by the hemoglobin molecule and passed on to the body. The infrared light penetrates deeper than the red light. A large part of it is absorbed by the skin, but a certain part still penetrates deeper and hits the cytochrome C in the respiratory chain and can activate the respiratory chain. There are people who have studied this nicely. If I now take chlorophyll with me before a red light treatment, I can increase the effect. Why? The chlorophyll is green. It is the complementary color of red. It glows green because it absorbs red and has an even higher absorption of red. The chlorophyll absorbs red, even though it is red, but the chlorophyll a bit more.
If you now have a red light sauna, what should you eat before that?
It is usually not a red light sauna, but an infrared sauna. The red light is a bit similar, but not quite so deep and does not make you hot. Then you make yourself a green juice, of which I am also an incredibly big fan. Green juice, green smoothies, salads. I have now held a nutrition seminar. Where do I get my protein from? Then I took a picture of myself hiking on a green meadow with 2 cows on it. Where do the cows get their protein from?
Yes, I know this argument.
Of course, it has a small catch. We have a different digestive system. Otherwise, we would have to eat all the time. Like them too. But I also want to say, there are cows, giraffes, elephants. They eat green leafy stuff. They are able to create big healthy bodies. Or in other words, there are living beings, let's say mammals. They only live from green stuff. And that's really good. We are designed to be able to eat other things. But we are also mammals. And that does us a lot of good. I just said that chlorophyll detoxifies. We also know it in spirulina or chlorella. Although I want to say, I have had a lot of bad experiences with chlorella. Because too much stress, distributions, neurological deterioration, that I no longer use it. I tend to use spirulina with someone who comes with something like fibromyalgia and muscle strain, muscle pain, or where often these hemoglobin metabolism problems can be behind. I have had super good experiences with barley grass powder. I have been using that for many years, and that can lead to a relief. There are also indications in studies that is a molecule, that you can use it as your own, especially if there is something that is disturbed.
Then I could use it in front of the infrared sauna. A tablespoon of barley juice.
For example,
With half a banana or something.
the chlorophyll has another advantage. There is pure chlorophyll, but normally we do not take the chlorophyll pure. It comes in repackaging, barley grass or spinach, or salad. Then I have electrolytes, minerals, vitamins, enzymes. Great combination. Protein too. It feeds our gut bacteria. And it also binds toxins in the gut. And it helps the liver to detoxify. Many patients had an undisturbed phase 1 detoxification, but a disturbed phase 2 detoxification, which is a bit stupid, because phase 1 detoxification is actually more toxic. In phase 2 it is unfortunately necessary, in phase 2, to attach molecules, to conjugate, so that it can be excreted via the liver and kidneys.
Can you explain that again?
We have different phases of detoxification. Phase 1 and phase 2. Now you can philosophically say, there are more phases of detoxification. I can also start phase 1. First I clean my gut. Then I take care of the liver. But officially there is a phase 1 and phase 2 detoxification. The phase 1 detoxification runs through the cytochrome, the hemoglobin molecules. We don't always have to talk about real toxins. This is also noticeable in a healthy metabolism. We don't have this system for nothing. And it is not made for the toxins we have today. Otherwise it has been around for a long time. This is the cytochrome. It is poisoned. It is made even more toxic. And then in phase 2 it is conjugated. That means there are certain molecules. This makes it kidney or liver-borne. That means it can be excreted via the liver and kidneys. We have enzymes like glutathione transferase, superoxide, dismutase, epoxy hydrolysis.
But these are infusions, right?
No, these are the enzymes. These are the enzymes of phase 2 detoxification. We sometimes measure COMT. This is an unspecific detoxification system. This is a very exciting thing, especially for psychiatric diseases. When I see someone is sick, I have to clean up from behind. I have to get the enzymes running again. Then I know if there is a worse detoxification. Then I have to proceed like this. Then I have killed several birds with one stone with the chlorophyll. Because A, it is a direct support of phase 1 detoxification. Morbus Mollenkrank can also be a sign that the phase is not going well without me having to do a gene analysis for expensive money. On the other hand, it also binds toxins directly.
Can I always talk about a morbus Mollenkrank if the skin goes yellow?
No, this is an elevated bilirubin level. Many extremely dangerous things can hide behind that. Even if I have a blocked gallbladder, a stone efflux, or a tumor that presses on the gallbladder, then I can get yellow.
Okay.
That has happened to me more often lately.
Getting yellow.
But maybe. I always ask if there is a correlation or not.
In the best case, getting yellow has to do with it. There are also more annoying, but medically not worse, acute liver diseases. There are also severe liver diseases. Unfortunately, there are also cancers.
Chlorophyll. If you make a green juice now, what are the chlorophyll sources? Does it matter if I take a spinach or have a dandelion because of the bitter substances? Would you also go out into nature and get the green chlorophyll sources?
Yes and no. I have patients who have their own garden. They like to go through the garden and make a compilation of it. I do that too. But there are people who react so sensitively. Yesterday, I told a patient I don't tolerate dandelion at all. If someone is very sick and I have already asked for the symptoms and have the blood values out and think would better start carefully and then add the dandelion later. For someone who has no symptoms and is healthy, sure. For patients, it is an individual decision what I recommend to them. But in general, I always say the KISS principle. Keep it simple and stupid. You don't have to mean if I do a lot of good things in one juice, in one day, that I do a lot of good things with it. That's okay if I do it once in a while. If I have a few dandelion leaves, I go pick them up, or a little bit of dandelion. But you don't have to overdo it. Someone who is healthy can take more dandelion or make a dandelion soup. Also as a raw food soup or as a smoothie. That's totally wonderful. And someone who is very sick, I start very simply. It also depends a little on what season you have. Spinach, I like it. It also has a good taste and is suitable for beginners. You can also add a piece of fruit. Even if we are talking about juice and not about smoothies, there are always panic attacks. Fruit as a juice. That directly goes into the blood. My dear people, fruit is by far not made of carbohydrates. So please, fruit is more antioxidant than vegetables.
Verzögere ich dadurch die Aufnahme. Also bitte, Obst ist antioxidantienreicher als Gemüse.
And by the way, most fruit varieties even contain more fiber than most vegetable varieties. Also not so well known, exceptions on both sides, but as a rule of thumb.
If I would like to drink an orange juice in the morning on the weekend and I would put a teaspoon of barley grass in there, I don't think that has an extreme taste, does it?
That's a matter of taste. Barley grass is actually in my home pharmacy. I give it to my children when they have a stomachache, when they have a headache. They get a tablespoon of barley grass in water and have to drink it. I do that too, and it often helps after a quarter of an hour against these symptoms. Especially with fibromyalgia patients, I quickly get good feedback about it.
Super.
What else is important? Did I forgot to ask you something?
Smoothies are also great. There are differences between juices and smoothies. I just had the question again. But what about the fibers that I throw away? Smoothies are full-fledged. Yes, you are welcome to drink both in the day. I usually drink both in the day. Juice and a smoothie. I put the barley grass in my smoothie. But the juice and the smoothie are like this. The juice is like this. I make my own plant extract. I make my own remedy. That's how I see a green juice. Again, green. There are also these barley things. I think they were far ahead of their time. But I think you have to see it more differentiated today. They got a good stone rolling. But nowadays there are also investigations about it. That you say, hey, that's great, what's in these juices? But you also know, hey, green is even better. A special feature that I also have in the juice. I have hexagonal water. I have pure, structured, cell-friendly water. If I have 90-year-old patients, I have over 80-year-old patients. If they drink juice, they are fit. They are fit. I really see that. That comes to the cells. I can crack a sick person with it. Someone who no longer tolerates raw food. I can regenerate the intestine with small amounts, increasing the amount by 100 milliliters. A smoothie also helps a lot. You don't have to put in decoctions, but rather something very gentle. Cucumber sometimes. Then it works really well. In the juice I have the added water. I don't have this pure anymore. It's still something great. Did I say juice? In the smoothie I have the added water. But with it I can also achieve great things in the intestine. I can really say that. I also treat intestines that really cause problems with people who have problems, or where you think it doesn't matter what you give them. I offer a transport medium to bring nutrients back into the cells. I also have the hexagonal in it. What is initially researched, where we may not yet know what kind of thing it is.
I think it's funny, when I give lectures in companies and I have graduate engineers. When I speak of hexagonal in the water, I always see an eye roll. What was conveyed in the study? Hexagonal. There is esoteric nonsense right away. It's fascinating how you can constantly develop an opinion.
I don't think anything has changed in the last 200 years. There is the famous Dr. Axel Munter from the last century. Some of you know him. He built this white open house on Capri. You can read his biography. When you read it, I feel that nothing has changed in medicine to this day.
It is all the more beautiful that there are doctors like you who really look at the patient. If he gets his fresh juice and you look at him in the mirror and he has a rosy face, then you don't have to discuss it anymore.
Dann muss man doch nicht mehr diskutieren, oder? Das sind doch einfach schöne Beweise, wenn der Mensch dir das widerspiegelt, was du im Grunde, wo du
You have supported him on his way to health. You can't say that after such a medicine cocktail that the skin is rosy and tight.
No, not at all. It can also be the game changer.
Thank you very much, Alexandra, for being here today. If people would like to know a little more about you,
you can take a look at BioMed Sonnenberg. We have a colorful flower bouquet of therapies. I think we have a wide range of colleagues.
Thank you for being here.
Danke, dass du da warst. Und
I
wir
hope to
hoffen
see
bald
you
wieder.
again soon.
Dankeschön.
Thank you.
Bis bald.
Dear viewers, I hope you are as motivated as I am to bring chlorophyll into your lives. Thanks for listening and see you soon.
Mehr im Leben integrieren zu können und bedanke mich fürs Zuschauen. Wundervolle Zeit und bis bald. Tschüss.